Yo guys, it's Sara. You already know that today I'm bringing you a bit of an announcement video slash team recap video, and if you can read the title then you already know what I'm announcing. It is that I am a part of the Pokemon Premier League, and if you follow me on Twitter, this is really not much of a secret. So yeah, it is a league, a battle league with some other YouTubers that I'm doing, like a kind of like a sports league that goes off of the form of like soccer, football, whatever. I guess it's football because like most of the people in it are from Europe, except for me and like one or two other people. But either way, it's just kind of like one of those battle leagues where we draft some Pokemon. We're gonna be battling each other. Everyone's gonna play each other once, and then whoever has the best record at the end of the season wins. Basically, that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be just for fun, and it's really cool. So I wanted to use this as an announcement video, as well as go over my team one by one, round by round, just to kind of go through my thought process as to why I picked some certain Pokemon, how I team builded, even though I didn't really, and just kind of my thought process, and just kind of give you guys the team that we're going to be starting with. Every match that I have will be uploaded onto my channel, so that is going to take the place of Wi-Fi battles, because now I have these battles which are going to be going up once a week, so I'm really excited about that. But we're going to cut to the chase, and I'm actually just going to go over my team. This is the team that will be starting week 1. We are not allowed to make any changes to the team until after we have our first match. So before I do start, I do want to do a rundown that how we did this is that we were each given a $100 million budget. And each of the Pokemon we pick are given like a certain value based on their tier. It's just the starting value, things like that. And Megas were individually priced and were agreed upon and everything like that. So, I'm just gonna run down like the team, like the values. That way, you can see maybe why I picked some of the things I did. So, OU Pokemon were valued at 15 million. BL were 12.5 million. UU was 10 million. BL2 was 8 million. RU was 6 million. Is there BL3 was probably like, I don't know, I didn't get any BL3, so it doesn't even matter. NU was 4 million. BL4 was 3 million, and PU was 2 million. So, and anything below PU just was rounded up to PU, and it was kind of 2 million. So that based on that, we did kind of have to budget our picks. So enough wasting time, I'm going to just go one by one and explain to you all the picks I have, and why you should be rooting for the Pittsburgh Pyro, which is my team name, and y'all should be rooting for them because we're going to put in the finest of work. So my first pick, the very first pick that I had, I picked Gliscor, and I also do want to make a note that I was picking sixth, I think. I was like right in the middle out of 12, and it went into Serpentine, so it went from like 1 to 12, and then the 12th person picked again, and then it went backwards. So I was right in the middle each time. So I picked Gliscor as my first Pokemon. The reason why I picked Gliscor, if you've ever seen me do an OU match, I basically always use Gliscor. If there's one Pokemon that I'm most comfortable with, it's probably Gliscor. So I did pick that up, and just so everyone knows, I will make this clear, I do not plan on using Gliscor the same way every single week. I do plan on trying to do some different things with it because it has a lot of different stats to utilize. It's very good, it has a very wide move pool, and I think that should be taken advantage of more. Also, I'm not really just trying to bring a stall team or a stall anything every single time, and I think a lot of the other people in the league aren't really trying to do that either, so that is the thing. So I picked up Gliscor. I was super happy about that, though that did knock off 15 million from my budget, which doesn't seem like a lot. I still got 85 million after that pick, but this next pick was kind of devastating. Also, I'm just kind of going over the picks and kind of my thought process at the time. I'm not going to go into super duper detail about what I'm doing with the Pokemon or anything like that, because I don't want to reveal too much about what I'm doing, because that is my opponent's job to do research on the Pokemon that I have and what I can do with them. So I'm not going to supply them with everything that I'm planning on doing with some of these things. So just clear that up. The second pick I had was Mega Pinsir. We each got to take one Mega Pokemon. It could be chosen at any time, and Mega Pinsir was actually valued as the most expensive, or like the highest valued Mega. And the fact that it was around midway through the second round, I had to snatch it up. Mega Pinsir was not a part of my original team plan. I didn't really have a Mega that I really wanted, but the fact that Mega Pinsir was around, I knew that I had to take it. It is one of my favorite Megas of all time, and it is so powerful. If I can get up a Swords Dance, Quick Attack, things like that, I can sweep so many teams if I can team build and set up to take on threats that threaten my Mega Pinsir sweeping capability. So I'm really excited to see if I can team build for things like that. Mega Pinsir is definitely going to be a huge threat to a lot of teams. I know some people are scared of that, so as long as I can team build effectively, I will be able to take advantage of that, and that would be all good. Mega Pinsir was $22 million, so after 2 picks, I had already spent $37 million. I had spent the most amount of money that one person could possibly spend after that amount of time. And yeah, my budget was already starting to drain really quickly compared to everybody else's, but I knew it was worth it. By the time the 3rd pick for myself came around, I had a couple of ideas in mind. I had 3 Pokemon that I really wanted, and I'm just going to say them right now. It was Arcanine, Starmie, and Shaymin. Galvantula was actually part of my original team plan, but after realizing the base speed of Gliscor, the quick attack of Mega Pinsir, and then Arcanine, Starmie, Shaymin, the fact that they all had really high base speeds, I figured that Galvantula was not really a necessary part of my team, so I decided to cut Galvantula in order to save money, because it just was not necessary for the team that I was starting to build. So really the only question was, which order did I want to take Arcanine, Starmie, and Shaymin? And I actually picked Arcanine as my 3rd pick because I kind of had a feeling that that may be sought after pretty early. I don't know if I was right in deciding that or not, but I'm just really happy I got Arcanine, because Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemon, and it has a lot of capabilities. It has a good physical attack, not a great physical move pool. It does have extreme speed. It does have a decent move pool. It has good special attack, good special defense, physical defense, Will-O-Wisp, Intimidate. There's so many things that it can do, so many ways that I can use it, and just having a fire type on your team is really crucial for a lot of these matches. So it'll help me take on like steel types, things like that, and will kind of help maybe take down some things that maybe Mega Pinsir can't. So I'm really excited about using Arcanine. I definitely know a lot of different ways to use them, so I'm really excited about that. Arcanine was $10 million, so it wasn't a huge deal, but of course I was still spending a lot of money up top. On to the 4th round, I did decide to pick Starmie next. This was kind of a risk because I wasn't sure if people were thinking Shaymin or not, because Shaymin is base 100 stats all across the board, which is very valuable in a league where trying to plan for an opponent is crucial. Because I'm not entirely sure what Shaymin's doing. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure that you can do a lot of different things with Shaymin. And at this point, Mew had already been taken. I think Celebi had been taken. So like, the base 100 legendaries were being taken. Like, they were being noticed. And I was kind of scared that maybe Shaymin wouldn't be available by my next pick. But with my 4th pick, I did pick Starmie. The reason for this is a couple things. I wanted Starmie from the beginning, so I wanted to make sure that I had him. I definitely wanted a Rapid Spinner. I know Gliscor can learn Defog, but it's just nice to have another option because I'm not always going to run Defog on Gliscor. By the same token, I may not always run Rapid Spin on Starmie. It really just depends on the team that I have to build for. I'm really excited to see like what I'm going to have to do with things like that. But yeah, Starmie is something that I wanted from the beginning. I do have some plans on how I want to use it. I don't have extensive experience with Starmie, but it is something I wanted. I know at the time there was a lot of talk about like bulky water types, and Starmie wasn't really a bulky water type, but I thought that maybe if people started making connections from bulky water types just to other water types, that maybe Starmie may be snatched up by the time that the 5th round came around. So that was my thought in picking Starmie. That is another 15 million. So after 4 picks, I was already down, what's that, 30, 40, 50, 62 million? 62 million. So I had 38 million left after only 5 picks. So I was already starting to run a little low. So, oh, sorry. I didn't even talk about Shaymin. Shaymin was like the 5th pick, things like that. Actually, I guess I did kind of talk about him, but Shaman was the 5th pick, and really excited about using Shaman. I've never really been able to, and I know that I can utilize it in a lot of different ways. Shaman was also one that was not part of my original team plan at all. I kind of had looked over it, and when it came to grass types, I really thought that I would be going after maybe Venusaur or Superior first, but honestly, when I saw Shaman in like base 100 stats across the board, I could not pass that opportunity up. So, on to the 6th pick. I knew I had to start handling my money a little bit better. I knew that there were going to be lower tier mons available. I knew that I was going to have to be smart in my spending. So with the 6th pick, I took Quagsire, which for some reason that I still don't understand, it is NU, which meant I only spent $4 million on it, which means that after 6th pick, I still had $34 million, which was respectable in my opinion. So I think I might have done the math wrong. I actually did the math wrong. I did the math wrong. But either way, Quagsire was my 6th pick because it has really good defensive capabilities. It has Unaware to try and prevent, being set up on. I'm really excited about using it. That's another one, like they were talking about bulky water types. They were talking about bulky defensive Pokemon from the lower tiers, and as soon as I scrolled past Quagsire, I knew I had to snatch it up before someone else took it. And the fact that Layson is really mad that I took Quagsire definitely means that I made the right decision, because I know he would have been snatched up if I left him out too much longer. So I'm actually going to redo the math again at this point. So I had spent 30, 40, 50, 72, 76 million. So after 6 picks, I was on $24 million, which is not a whole lot of money, and I'm pretty sure even at that point I had the least amount of money available. I could be wrong, but I was spending a lot of money. So yeah, with the 7th pick, I actually took Kyurem, regular Kyurem. The reason I did this is it was only $8 million, so it did put me down at $16 million, but I knew that there was some other lower tier stuff that I really wanted. So Kyurem is a Pokemon that I've never really used, but I didn't have a Dragon type on my team, and I was really trying to look for a lower tier Dragon type Pokemon, and really the only other option was Druddigon, and I wanted something a little quicker. Because if you haven't noticed, at this point of the draft, basically all of my Pokemon, aside from Quagsire, have been like really fast, or have the potential to be really fast. All of their base speeds are like at least 95 or higher. Except for I'm not entirely even sure of what Mega Pinsir's base speed is. I'm pretty sure it's high, but I got that forward for Quick Attack anyway, so it really doesn't matter what his base speed is when it's using Quick Attack on your face. Kyurem, I am excited about using. I did want another ice move. Starmie can get Ice Beam, but besides that, I didn't really have a whole lot of ice moves, and I know that dragons are running all around, and I know that ice is just a good thing to have on your team, so I did decide to snatch that up. With the next pick, the last couple picks is where things got really interesting, because I was thinking of how I wanted to manage the rest of my $16 million budget. I could go kind of big spending. I could have gotten another UU Pokemon and things like that, which I almost did. I was really heavily considering Honchkrow. However, I'm really glad I did not take it, because I got Drapion instead. I really wanted a poison type on my team, to be able to soak up toxic spikes should any toxic spikes be used against me, as well as I believe Drapion can learn toxic spikes on his own as well. I think Drapion can also taunt, so having taunt is going to be a huge deal. So I'm really looking forward for Drapion to make a big impact on this team. It was also only $6 million, so I still had $10 million left with a maximum of 3 more picks left. Team sizes was a maximum of 11, and I did fill up all 11 slots. So I'm really excited to use Drapion. I do use Drapion quite extensively in RU when I play RU. So I'm pretty excited about using it in this league, and I think it will really pull through. My last 3 picks, I'm not even sure how many other people were really looking at, but the next pick, I took Electivire. I really wanted something to be able to eat up a Volt Switch or take a Thunder Wave. The person that I'm playing first week, Erasmus, he has a Klefki, which I'm sure is going to try and Thunder Wave me, so now I have the option of Motor Drive, Electivire, things like that, if I do. Of course, I still have Quagsire, but more for, like, I know that there are some Pokemon that get Volt Switch that also get things like Grass Knot, and like I'm not trying to switch Quagsire in on a Grass Knot, and something like that would be maybe better suited for Electivire. So now I have that option. I'm really glad I got Electivire. He is also a pretty fast Pokemon, hits pretty hard, things like that. I'm really excited about using Electivire. I'm really excited to see what type of different things I can do with it. So yeah, that was Electivire, and after that I had exactly 6 million. So I could have went with one RU Pokemon, or I could have went with an NU and a PU, or I could have went with 2 PU and just left 2 million left over. With the next pick, is probably the pick that I'm maybe the most proud of, but I may regret the most. I picked Jumpluff. Now, no one picks a Pokemon just for giggles or just to be funny. Like, there were a lot of jokes being thrown around like, oh, I'm gonna pick this, or oh, I'm gonna pick this, but not a lot of them were legitimately taken. So when someone takes a Pokemon, they plan to utilize its strengths, they do know how to use it, and safe to say I've used Jumpluff before, and I've used Jumpluff effectively before. Jumpluff is another fast Pokemon that has good utility moves that I'm really excited to use. And the only reason that I may regret it is because I do have Shaman on the team, and I'm not entirely sure how many matches I want to bring both Shaman and Jumpluff. So we'll see how that works out. For the last pick, I was really struggling with this one. I had my eyes set on Tauros for quite a while. Tauros is a really powerful Pokemon, sheer force, base like 100, attack 110 speed, you know, give it Life Orb, and it is insane the amount of damage that Tauros can do. However, kind of my mentality for the whole draft has been versatility, things that I may need, and just things that I can have more options with. So the last Pokemon I went with was Jynx, and Jynx, you know, completely finished out my budget. I have absolutely no money going into the season, which basically is just going to affect the amount I can trade, as well as if I release Pokemon. Like, you know, I'll have less money to work with, which I'm okay with. But you know, looking back on it, maybe I could have, you know, kept a couple million for some wiggle room there. But either way, I did decide to go with Jynx over Tauros because I was just really torn, and I just decided to look at both of their movesets, both of their stats, things like that. And the thing that jumped out with Jynx, you know, at me is it's another Pokemon that can use Ice Beam. It has a lot of utility moves if I want to go down that route. It can do so many roles that I don't think people use Jynx for, and I just want to give myself that option of being able to use it for different things. So I picked Jynx, and that rounds out the team. So as you can see, I'll just give a list of all of them probably over on the side. That the entire team is made up of Gliscor, Mega Pinsir, Arcanine, Starmie, Shaman, Quagsire, Kyurem, Drapion, Electivire, Jumpluff, and Jynx. That is a pretty powerful team if I do say so myself. However, I do suggest that you check out some of the other teams if they are doing their own recaps. Otherwise, just wait for week 1 to see some of the powerful teams that were made during this draft. I am scared of literally everyone's team. Everyone else is scared of pretty much everyone's team. It's very even, and I think it's really going to come down to the team building skills and playing skills of the players themselves. So I'm really excited to do that. I have been mentioning that I do want to get better at battles, and I don't know any better way to get better at team building and battling than doing something like this. So that is going to conclude my announcement and team recap video. I don't know if this is going to be longer than some people's, shorter than some people's. Kind of long in my eyes, but I did skip over a lot of like in detail things because, you know, I do want to keep some tricks up my sleeve. I do want to keep some mysteriousness behind like what I'm doing, things like that. So that's my team. If you are enjoyed, if you are a fan of the Pittsburgh Pyroar, make sure you let me know down in the comments section below. Make sure you support everyone in the league. I'll probably leave a link to everyone if I can, if I remember. And that's basically gonna wrap everything up. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.